This part of the ground control station is optional. Everything runs out of what's on the tripod, but to get added functionality and to make life a little easier, I built this part of the ground control station. This whole case is built out of 3/8 inch plywood with 1/8 inch plywood for the covers. You see Velcro for holding down the laptop. I drilled some holes for the air intake for the CPU cooling fan. When I rebuild this winter, I'm going to use 1/2 inch plywood because the 3/8 can't quite handle the stress of the lid folding back on it. These panels here are just attached with magnets and screws. So on the back we got some rare earth magnets, hot glued and then taped. And then on the actual frame itself, it's just a screw screwed in, and then the magnet attaches to the screw. So what's inside the box is obviously a laptop running Mission Planner, and I use EasyCap as well to collect the OSD footage, and a small television. It's not very high resolution, but it's good for checking video feeds without having to wear the goggles. You can keep your hands free and do everything on the plane. I added a LED light bar so I could actually see what I was doing in low light. And then what I'll do is I'll take you through the control panel. So I've got this set up so it runs off of 12 volt power from the vehicle, and inside there are also a couple of batteries. So inside the case there are 2 lead acid 12 volt UPS batteries that I salvaged. They're wired up just as you would any LiPo pack, so it's set up as a 2-cell battery. That gives me 2 voltages, 12 volts and 24 volts. The laptop needs the 24 volts, everything else needs 12. I charge it using the T connector you see sitting on top there, and I use voltage regulators to give myself the voltage out to run all of the equipment. The hinge mechanism is just a couple of blocks of wood with a slight bevel cut in one edge, glued onto the back, and when you open the box, the bevels support the lid at the correct angle so it sits open the way you want it to. With the 3/8 inch plywood, this is not really strong enough, and you can see there's a gap at the one closest. The antenna I use most for long range flights on 433 is my prototype ground plane antenna. I'm still playing with this a little bit. Ground planes work roughly the same as a dipole. You just have 4 radiating elements. So I built this as a prototype. Turned out to work a lot better than I thought, so I just continued to use it. I'll probably remake this a little later. Core of the coax is soldered to a 1/2 inch copper pipe adapter. This comes in and out, which lets me transport the antenna a little bit easier. And then the shield is just soldered to a little bit of wire, which comes down to the flange here. This is all iron, cast iron flange. And then to that, I have coat hangers that I've just bent to the right diameter to make the ground plane. So this works on the same principles as a half-wave dipole. This whole assembly gets put up on a cheap light stand and then raised about 8 feet off the ground. So that's it for the optional part of the ground station. In my next video, I will go over the antennas that I use for long-range flights and how I design and build them. So be sure to like and subscribe for more videos.